if you're not shooting a 9mm bullet with today's technology that goes into the development of self-defense ammunition in the 9mm round, you need to justify your existence. So people ask me all the time why I shoot a 9mm bullet. I think that with the so one of the more entertaining ways that it was ever phrased in front of my ears was I was teaching a combat-focused shooting class with Rob Pincus, and one of the students asked what caliber he recommends carrying, and his response, to be very black and white, as those of you who know Rob to be, his response was, if you're not shooting a 9mm bullet with today's technology that goes into the development of self-defense ammunition in the 9mm round, you need to justify your existence. Ultimately, that's the way that I feel. Is it fun to shoot other calibers? Yeah, absolutely. I don't really consider the 40 caliber much fun to shoot, but it's fun to grab a 1911 with a 45. It's fun to shoot, you know, 357 SIG, things like that. And some of those different rounds will have different applications, but in the context of shooting at and into a human body for self-defense, a 9mm is, in my opinion, the ultimate way to go. And that's based on ballistic studies. We're gonna probably link some down below you guys can go look at. But ballistic studies and empirical evidence that it's not about the caliber, it's not about the diameter of the bullet in your body, it's about how many rounds can you deliver in a short amount of time as possible that disrupt someone's ability to continue attacking you. Whether that's a psychological stop and they choose to give up and run away, or a physical stop and they're incapacitated on the ground in front of you, it's about delivering combat accurate shots as efficiently as possible. Efficiency is as little time, effort, and energy as possible. Can you shoot a 40 or a 45 ACP as quickly and as controlled as you can with a 9mm? Say a Glock 9mm or a Glock 40 and a Glock 45, all the same frame size. Absolutely, you can come very close with the 40 and the 45, but it takes more energy from the shooter to control that additional recoil. That's something that I don't find to be beneficial in any way, shape, or form when you're talking about self-defense. Why not make things as easy as possible while still relying on a round that is ballistically a good performing bullet? People want to talk stopping power of the 40, the 45 ACP, the 357 SIG, the 10mm. You want stopping power? Buy a shotgun, buy a rifle. Handguns don't have it. That's why we need to deliver, or we need to train to deliver, multiple rounds to the high center chest area, because one bullet isn't going to be a party over game stopper. Two bullets isn't going to be a guaranteed stop the threat. And without getting into training aspects of avoiding things like double taps or 2 to the chest, 1 to the head, failure stop drills, we need to shoot until that threat has stopped, as I mentioned before, physically or psychologically. And that again comes back to the premise of delivering as much disruption to a vital area of the body as we can in a short amount of time as possible. Generally speaking, across the board, 9mm is going to be the cheapest to find and the most available and accessible across the world. So if you can't pay to feed the gun, you know, something like a 45 or a 357 SIG, when you might be approaching close to $1 a bullet or 75 cents a bullet or whatever it costs, if you can't afford to shoot the gun, it's not going to be a fun gun to shoot at the range because you can't afford to shoot it. If you can't afford to train with your self-defense gun, you're not going to be prepared with that self-defense gun should you ever, God forbid, need to use it. So from a cost analysis standpoint, 9mm just continues to make sense. Now, I'm sure there's going to be people that want to argue this down in the comment section below. Oh, I shoot a 40 because it's America and I have the freedom to do so. Yeah, that's fine, whatever. I shoot a 45 because, you know, 1911s are what? Why are you shooting a 45? Why are you shooting a 40 caliber? Why are you shooting a 10mm? If it's a stopping power argument, go read a ballistics table. You're going to find out that it's inconsequential, or it's irrelevant. It's such a microscopic difference. Let's talk about the 9mm and the 40, for example. This is a big debate that I actually got into recently with somebody. A 40 caliber bullet is a 10mm diameter bullet. It's 1 millimeter wider. If you shoot someone with one 9mm versus 140 caliber, that person is not going to give one lick of difference which bullet hit them. So you come back again to that efficiency of delivery. It takes more time, effort, and energy to control a 40 caliber because of the really snappy recoil impulse that it presents into the gun. So why should I have to work harder to put 1 more millimeter of diameter into a hole in someone's cavity, a chest cavity, with slightly more speed behind it? And it might seem like I'm hating on 40 and 45 and 357 SIG. Make your own choice at the end of the day. This is just the educated position that I've come to from reading and studying and doing ballistics gel tests myself. And again, looking at it from an honest efficiency standpoint. Be honest with yourself. Do you really need the gun that you have, or the caliber that you have, or the caliber that you want, or do you want it because, you know, a 1911 might as well be sold with a giant belt buckle and a pair of cowboy boots, and that's important to you. Carry as much ammunition as you can in one magazine. That's another huge thing that 9mm affords you to do, is it gives you the largest capacity of what I would consider to be the dominant calibers, you know, 9, 40, 45, things like that. You're carrying the most amount of ammunition in one magazine. Now, it's probably unlikely, pretty unlikely, that civilians in a true self-defense scenario need to reload their gun. However, I don't really want to stack those odds against me and increase the plausibility of my needing to reload that handgun in a gunfight. So I'd rather have more ammunition that I can control easier, that's cheaper to buy and shoot recreationally and shoot for training purposes to better my ability to defend myself and my loved ones around me. That's why I stick with the 9mm. We'll see you guys next time. We never quit.